the delay here, folks. I had some technical difficulties. I normally check this before we go live, and I managed to forget this time around to check in my rush, and here we are with sound not working the way it's supposed to. So in a moment, hopefully we'll have all of that back up there for you. I think we've got everything now. If you want to give a quick check there for the audio, Phil.
All right. Can you hear us now, as they say?
Okay. Mason says he hears us.
Can you hear us now? We're Gucci now. Okay.
Yes. Apologize for that, everyone.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Our technical difficulties on my OBS that I normally check, and I forgot to this time.
It's all good. All right, so anyway, all of those things we said, this is a big game. Both teams coming off losses, big implications not only in the division but for each of these teams' playoff races. Specifically, the Bengals, at 5-4, at 5-5, could find themselves out of it early, as they say. Here's a pistol look now. Give it to Edwards on the right side, and he'll get a couple more. Sets up a 2nd and 3. So the Bengals drove down the field pretty nicely. Again, no T. Higgins in this one for them. No Sam Hubbard on this side of the football. Ronnie Stanley also missing for the Ravens in terms of key inactives for tonight. Swiveling out of the backfield is Zay Flowers, and he's got a first down. Chased down by those linebackers and safety Dax Hill. But Zay Flowers, first down, and now nicely into Bengal territory go the Ravens on their first drive. Back to pass, right side. Oh, it should have been picked. Logan Wilson, it was right in his hands. Could not bring it in. That's brutal. Trips to the right side for Lamar. And they'll fake the handoff. Now he'll roll. Now he'll fire on the roll and almost picked again. This time it's Nick Scott. A couple of passes that Lamar has been awfully lackadaisical with, and lucky to get both of those back here for a 3rd and 10. Back to pass now, Lamar. Surveying, now rolling, now firing, out of bounds. Okay, well, good hold there by the Bengals defense. 2 dropped interceptions, but they will force a punt, or rather a 60.5-yard field goal attempt from Justin Tucker. Here we go. Kick is up. Kick is... I think he had enough leg, but pushed it right. And that's going to be a really good field position for the Bengals there. That's exactly the reason the Browns should not have kicked the field goal with 7 seconds left in the first half, and why they didn't ultimately, because then you flip the field and give Tucker a chance to do the same thing. All right, Burrow now. 3-0 his lead. Swing it to Mixon. Expect to see Law mixing out of the backfield again. No T. Higgins for this game, so a lot of Chase, a lot of Boyd, and some Trenton Irwin as well. He's number 16. You'll also see Travion Williams out of the backfield. Back to pass. Quick throw. Yeah, right on it. There's that same little route, and Chase falls to the ground to catch it. His 2nd of the game, looking very much like that. In fact, both of them went for 7 yards. 2nd and 2, Burrow, quick fire right side. There's Boyd for a first down. So 7 of 8, 62 yards already. Very efficient start to the day. Yeah, it is beautiful here in Central Ohio. I hope it is beautiful wherever you are. About 70 degrees here today for November 16th. That's bonkers.
All right, sorry about that.
Will be knocked away in a 2nd and 10.
I was going to say I got a phone call there I had to deal with, but I'm back now.
Nice little juke move by Chase. Gets up to the 17-yard line, setting up a 3rd down. That little quick check with me right at the line of scrimmage, and he made a nice man miss. Over the middle. This one's going to be Irv Smith, former Viking, former Alabama Crimson Tide tight end. 6:25 and counting here in the first quarter clock. Burrow over the middle, back of the end zone. Chase, that's two. Oh, he said he wasn't in.
Wow, I thought for sure that was in. This one should get reviewed. Those toes look to be in for sure with control. Bad call on the ref.
No review coming, though. Yeah, no review coming. They'll try Mixon on 2nd and goal, and he'll get nowhere. That looked like it was a touchdown to me for sure. And they got out of it fast, didn't they? 3rd and goal now. Burrow against the 4-man rush over the middle. Oh, this time he squeezes it in. No worry about the sideline. Jamar Chase doing sort of a modified gritty of some sort here into the back of the end zone. We were talking about before our audio was live how crazy it is that he and Justin Jefferson were on the same college team with Joe Burrow. Yes. And kind of reminding us how, Olave, Wilson, Harrison, Smith, and Jigba were all on the same team. And Jameson Williams, for that matter.
That's right. But certainly felt like you missed the first opportunity. Don't come away shy, though, with a very nice, well-fitted-in ball there from Joe Burrow. That was impressive, just threading a needle between two defenders and putting in a tight throw to a well-covered receiver.
Beautiful throw from Joe for sure. And again, the recipe for beating the Ravens is do not let them get a lead.
Yep.
And the Bengals have done a nice job of starting quickly. Here's Gus up the middle, and Pratt will swallow him up right at the line. Just 3 carries for 7 yards.
Well, that was
Mr. Bus Edwards.
That was the other key right there, what they just did. Stuffing the run on the Ravens really puts them in a spot they don't like to be in. If they get their run game going, then they're trouble.
Here's Lamar on the keeper out of that heavy full house backfield. He's only going to net 5. So Cam Taylor-Britt brings him to the ground. Big 3rd and 5 here early in the game. Momentum starting to swing Cincinnati's way, even here at Baltimore. Over the middle, behind and dropped. Lamar couldn't put it on him. Flowers had to reach back for it, and Dax Hill swats it away. And that's a 3 and out here for the Ravens.
Well, credit the Bengals defense for really stepping up after their offense took charge and put points on the board with a nice touchdown. The Bengals defense does their part, gets the Ravens off the field, started by stopping that run. And here we are again with the Bengals and another opportunity to extend this lead.
10-0, 4:22 on the first quarter clock. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy, maybe a late hold coming in at the end of this one. And that's exactly what it's going to be. Orlando Brown, their high-priced left tackle, who for some reason is playing on the right in this game, and I'm not sure why, but that's fine, whatever. Knocked away there by Geno Stone, now 2nd and 18. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy, Nagy on Sports joining you here today, guys. We really appreciate you being here. This was the second highest vote getter by far, was a runaway between this one and the Monday Nighter that we did yesterday. So excited to be able to bring this one to you. Thought it was maybe most appropriate to do it before the game actually happens here in a couple of hours. So appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much to all of our subscribers. You guys truly are the best. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe, we very much appreciate that. Here's a 3rd and 11 for Burrow and company.
Yeah, bringing you all the primetime games here. Thursday Night Football and Sunday Night, or Monday Night Football.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. All right, that one's going to be dropped by Chase, and they're going to have to punt on a 3rd and 11. So good job by the Raven defense. Lamar will take over at the 27-yard line. Hey, Mitchell, welcome in. Go Browns. Play action to Edwards. Firing over the middle. This one's going to be caught still a little bit behind Flowers, but no defenders in the territory allows him to snag it in. Just a 6-yard reception for Flowers. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's been plenty of games, Mason, that should have been flexed and haven't been. There's been some brutally bad Sunday night football matchups that they just keep rolling.
Right. Yeah. Well, actually,
like
this
Jets Raiders or something. Like,
yeah,
nobody wants that.
Some of these have been quite bad, but this is actually a week of pretty good primetime football with the Thursday night and the Monday night football games both being pretty good games. Where it should be good games. We'll see how they turn out in reality, of course. But an AFC grudge match on the Thursday night, and then of course the replay of the Super Bowl for the Monday night.
Loss of a yard there. They trying to go up the middle one more time. Push-ups after the tackle for the defense. Play action again to Edwards. Firing at right side. Oh, the third interception that's just straight dropped by a Bengal defender here in this opening quarter.
Yeah, they got to be kicking themselves there with the dropped interceptions so bad because great opportunity. I mean, even a play like that, he only got his hand, probably a tough catch out of bounds there, but they're getting their hands on the football. They've been around the football, but you got to come up with some of those plays because that's a big difference. The scoreline could be very different right now if just one or two of those had been actually intercepted.
Absolutely. Very, very true. As Mason pointed out earlier, it could have been 10-0. It could have been 17-0 at this point now. All right, well, back onto the field come the Bengals offense. They're going to shift some things around. Again, playing multiple tight ends a lot. Could be in the cards tonight. I believe they only have 3 active receivers. At least I haven't seen who their practice squad call-ups might be. And he's going to be sacked from behind. Owe came all the way around the left tackle. And a holding to boot, I'm going to assume. That's just going to go ahead and be declined. And they'll take the result, which they do. 2nd and 21 now, back to the 5. Back to pass. Quick throw to the right side. Trying to hit his tight end, Drew Sample. Not going to get much done there. 3rd and 17. And they do have to snap it before the quarter ends. To the right side. And he's just thrown away because he was getting hit in the end zone. Lucky there was a receiver over there because he was definitely still in the pocket. It's a nice job now. The defenses have started to take over these past couple drives.
So,
yeah, Don,
if you listen to Sean's presser, which by the way, credit to Sean with coming out and facing the media after all of this. He didn't have to do that. He took that upon himself. So good for him. That had to be one of the hardest interviews outside of maybe the first one, hardest interviews of his life, considering everything that had gone on, how well things seem to be going for him, and all of a sudden to be told that you're out, like you have to have this surgery. But he said in his press conference it was first quarter, by the way, not second quarter is what he reported of when it happened, and then also he wasn't sure what play it was exactly, and he looked back and couldn't tell which one specifically had been the one that did it. So whether or not Twitter says they know, I mean, I don't trust much of what Twitter has to say when it comes to that. I mean, they can say anything they want, but that doesn't make it true.
Yeah, the replay that I've seen that at least seems very plausible is the one where Clowney's actually got him low, and he kind of twists his ankle, and then Matabike comes in really late, right on the shoulder.
Yep.
That's the
and
one
that was second quarter. Yeah, that was right before the half.
Looks like you could break somebody's bone.
Yep, that was second quarter, right before the half break, where he actually got the high ankle sprain. But the shoulder was already bad by then. He said it was hurting. It was hurting and probably fractured from the first quarter. So that was not that same play.
Well, there you go. But I'm sure it felt really good.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he was throwing full velocity on that. Look at some of. I mean, if you go back and think, watch through the replays and think somewhere in that first quarter, so pretty much anywhere second quarter and beyond, and watch some of those throws he was making. I mean, really impressive. Of course, there's adrenaline and everything else. You're not going to feel as much of that pain. He's still feeling it, though. And the fact that he was able to do what he did through all of that is, some of those throws are very impressive, considering he's got a fracture in there that clearly the doctors are so concerned about. They wouldn't let him continue. They said you have to have the surgery because the stability and structure of the shoulder long term is at risk. And that's, if the doctors are telling you that, then, that could have happened in the game. Fortunate for him and for us that it did not. But, certainly don't like seeing stuff like that ever.
No, you don't.
But
the
Ravens
were able to get 3 points on the board there.
I will say that does bring us to another topic that's worth discussing in particular. I know in our chat we had some folks that were talking about him being a coward out there or not having leadership and some other stuff, some personal attacks really about Watson, and we've seen that other places in our chat and on our channel. And frankly, we that's not something that we can support here at Nagy on Sports or condone. And looking back on that kind of like the hindsight 2020 piece of that, considering what he was facing, what he was able to do, makes some of those comments seem a little bit more. It's never a good comment ever to take somebody's character into question. To attack them that way, especially, if you're not in that situation. But to see what he was actually going through, some of it anyway, puts a little bit more context to it.
Yep, we've been consistent with that. There was a lot of Baker Mayfield slander early in the life of the channel, and we tried to be pretty aggressive about shutting that down. And there are plenty of other places on the internet that you can go and complain about things, and we've just decided that this isn't one of those places.
Yep. Yeah, no, and it's fine to,
Bengals have to punt.
Friendly rivalries are fine, and we're perfectly fine with having some of that going on here on the channel, and talking some smack is okay too. But it's when you start attacking the people, the character, that stuff, that's something we can't get behind. And so really, I think going forward, something. If that's going to be the way that we're going to continue to see that on our chat, then that's probably going to be something that we'd have to take a break from the game chat for, which is unfortunate because we don't want to do that.
A hearty cosign. There's a nice run there for Lamar up the middle. 10-3. Waggling our way through the second half again. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy on Sports. Rolling to the left. Lamar, good platform throw. Caught it and held on to it. Beckham takes a big shot from Taylor Britt, but all the way down to the 25-yard line. 40 yards and a first down, Ravens. Kind of maybe an underthrown on purpose. You either catch it or you get the nice PI. Quick little play action. Right side slant. Beckham again to the 5. Back-to-back throws. Odell Beckham. And now into the goal-to-go situation for Baltimore. Rouzier bringing him back. Up the middle with Gus the Bus. We were reminded so many times about his proclivity for scoring when they get inside the 5-yard line. Got rather annoying, actually, Jonathan Vilma.
Yeah, certainly did.
Motion from Isaiah Likely, the tight end. Now option keeper left side. Got one man to beat, and he can't do it. Great tackle by Scott. In space, Lamar had the entire side of the field and one man to beat, and he couldn't beat him. Back to pass, Bengals blitzing everybody, and a late breakup by Pratt and Marcus Bailey.
Yeah, credit the defense.
Pride of Hilliard-Davidson High School, Marcus Bailey.
Yes, sir. Credit the defense there. Really stout play there near the end zone, just refusing Pratt a big part of that, but refusing to allow the touchdown and forcing a field goal here from Justin Tucker, which, that's tough to do in that spot against these Ravens. They're very good there inside of the red zone, so credit the defense with a bend but don't break in a critical moment.
Good little return to the 28-yard line. Travion Williams. The now backup running back, the injury to Chase Brown. All right, 10-6, now 7:53 here to go, first half. Turn around, rolling to the right. Burrow rolling and firing it away before Matabike can get into his grill. 14 of 22 for Burrow. Started out very efficient. After those first couple scoring drives, the defenses have really tightened up on both sides. Burrow floating it left side, man open, caught, first down. Dropped it in the bucket, the old Boyd bucket, to the 37-yard line. A big strike and a big first down for the Bengals.
Yeah, it was a beauty. Nice throw here from Burrow. If I have any notes here for him, he just wants to leave that just not quite that far. Just maybe a hair off of that, and he's still running for a touchdown. Potential tackle, but because it was kind of close, but still, just that little dip he had to take to ensure the catch was enough to slow him up that the defender is able to make the tackle on the spot rather than him still running in for 6.
Second and 10 now here for Burrow. Firing it to the right side. Boyd again, right at the sticks. They'll say he's a yard shy. Brandon Stevens all over him, and now it's 3rd and 1. Roquan Smith has popped into the zone here at some point during this drive as well. Burrow, quick throw left side, wide open. Smith found a hole in that zone, I guess. And a big first down, and they're in the red zone now, under 6 to play, first half. Ravens will receive the second half kick, so they're going to do what they can to try to limit the points here and get back down in the end zone. Maybe set up the old double dip. Back to pass. Quick throw right side, and it's dropped this time by Boyd. Defender right on his backside. Maybe hearing the steps of Marlon Humphrey. Incomplete.
Yeah, Mason, I agree with you. Stat-wise, you could probably expect something relatively similar. The leadership piece is certainly one thing that we'll miss, which, we'll see where DTR is with that. The other thing that we were really starting to see from Watson, especially in this last game, that we'll see where DTR gets you, and certainly we'll hope for the Brock Purdy type, fill-in would be great. We don't know what that's going to be for sure. But the last piece that really Watson was really starting to come into his own, it won't show up in the stat sheet, but that clutch meter, man. Tell you what, that game against the Ravens does not happen without that clutch meter being off the chart. He was clutch in so many key moments, making those critical throws you had to have. Just look at all the times we were in that, like backing ourselves up with a penalty or some dumb sack or whatever it was. And then we're like, it's 2nd and 18, it's 2nd and 17, and he makes that critical throw to Cooper that get us in 3rd and 2. And those throws, that consistently throughout the game were so important. You can't undervalue, though, even though they don't show up huge in the stat as a massive part of the game, they were a massive part of the game.
Bengals able to tack on 3 there. And with 5:12, let's see if the Ravens can try to get something into the end zone, tie it up. Lamar keeps it 45 to the 40, rather to the 40, and then the 45. That's math. And a first down for Lamar.
I think the biggest difference we'll see.
Everybody being on again. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy on Sports.
Yeah, sorry about that, Phil. I was going to say the biggest difference I expect we'll probably see, especially early on with DTR, is going to be that it's going to, kind of like with PJ Walker, but hopefully less turnovers, but it's going to reduce your margin for error. You're going to have to be a little better in all the other phases of the game, a little better on offense in terms of all the execution around the quarterback position. Can't afford those stupid penalties. You're not going to be digging yourselves out of tons of holes as frequently. Defense has got to be, tighten up certain things. It's just gonna be a team effort come together. Now I'll tell you, this is a real team, and they have shown that. I mean, that one play that the entire team, all but two were in on the pushing the forward further down the field. Kind of had an Iwo Jima feel to it. That play alone tells you what you need to know about this team. But I do, and you don't see that very often at the NFL level. So that to me speaks very positively about this team and this season, with or without Watson, because these guys are going to rally and they're going to be a hard out for any team they play, just because of how gritty they're going to play football as a team. That's just how it's going to be, and I love that. It's really exciting for me. Oh, that was impressive! What a touchdown that was, Odell Beckham! Wow. Sorry, I was
He's been
waxing.
a nice spark for this passing game.
Yes, he has. Waxing a little bit.
That's fine. Wax away.
Poetic there on what I see for the Browns, but and just out of the tips. I think that was Awuzie, just out of the fingertips of the flying defender trying to make a play. Beautiful throw there from Jackson to put it just inside of reach of OBJ, but out of the reach of the defender. To tie up the ball game.
Sure
to
was. Did they score too fast, though?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I suppose the last thing I would say is going to be, just your margin for error is going to go down. Obviously, with DTR, he's got a higher ceiling than PJ Walker. Hopefully, he doesn't turn the ball over as frequently, which is a big part of it, because the fewer mistakes we have to overcome, the better off we're going to be. But if he can live a little bit up to that ceiling, maybe make a few clutch plays here and there. There's a big pick opposite direction. Again, sorry, not letting you call the game here, Phil. Just last point being, if he can get really to that, just a few critical plays here and there, get some production when we have to have it, then I think this team is going to be in just fine shape.
Yes, we got to talk about a lot of that yesterday, and you weren't on, so make sure you get your chance.
Yeah.
Get your chance to say your things. But the Ravens right back down in the scoring area now here with the first turnover of the game, and it's a brutal one from Joe. And unlike the Bengals, the Ravens don't drop that opportunity. And now Lamar going right for the end zone again. Andrews, touchdown! Quick strike after the turnover, and the Ravens 14 unanswered points here inside of 3 minutes and a half.
Well, to answer your previous question, no, not too soon when you're about to turn it back over and score again with your big tight end in like a single play. Right. That being said, they might have just scored again too soon, because now they are still opening the opportunity for the Bengals. Of course, if they hold on to the ball, don't turn it over, they're giving the Bengals a chance to at least still put a touchdown and keep themselves in range, but still it's yeah, exactly. It took all of 5 seconds, so they scored very, very quickly twice there. Obviously, if you keep doing that, the margin is going to become too large. But Bengals have a lot to figure out here, and they do have time to try to tie this back up, because they're going to feel a lot better about that going into the halftime.
Welcome in, Bo. Welcome in, Fellergan. Good to have you guys on with us here this evening. Play before the 2-minute warning is going to be a run to Mixon to the left side for 3. And that's a very quick 2-minute warning. Burrow now coming off the interception, which led immediately to a touchdown. Throw right side, dangerous throw, and Boyd can't hold on. Marlon Humphrey knocks it out of his hands. And now a 3rd and 7 here. Dangerous time for the Bengals. The red-hot Ravens on the other side. But a beautiful throw to Chase, and that's how you calm the storm. Go find your superstar. Got him on a skinny post and a first down. They'll go no huddle.
Yeah, you got that right. Get your playmakers going. That's how you answer here.
Just out of the outstretched arms. Again, we talked about Trenton Irwin getting elevated to that 3rd wide receiver role tonight with Higgins and DeSovius out. Just couldn't quite angle that one appropriately. 90 seconds on the clock. Burrow right side, almost picked again. Boyd couldn't bring it in either. Marlon Humphrey, we know he's handsy, but he is good at the point of attack with the ball as well. He knocks that one away. Now a big 3rd and 10. Pressure, and knocks him down. And they'll call timeout, and so now the option for a triple dip right here at the end of the first half.
It's crazy.
Crazy indeed. Wendell, I didn't see anything. I went and looked to check. Higgins is out, Hubbard's out, but I didn't see Jamar Chase's name on the out list. I could be wrong, but I think he's supposed to be in there.
You know it, Terry. Absolutely what we look to do here, as we very much appreciate all of you. Couldn't do it without Nagy Nation.
That's absolutely right. And now the Bengals call timeout after a sack of their own. They're going to hand this one off to Edwards, and the Bengals will call timeout and get the football back with about a minute to go. So maybe this is where we can get it. I mean, obviously, Mason, there's certainly plenty of things to worry about with a rookie.
Yeah.
Again, they obviously have confidence in him. He's extremely smart. He's played 5 years of college football, essentially, in a pro NFL-style offense. They clearly did their homework on him. And, you know, with the exception of the game where he found out 90 minutes before he was playing,
Right.
which, again, I do not believe should be a fair assessment of anyone.
No, it's not.
You know, I think the guy that we saw in the preseason, to some extent, is who you can see. He's going to extend plays with his legs. He's got a nice arm. He's hopefully not going to turn the ball over too many times. And again, I think with a game plan for him and the reps for him, and I think it'll be. I think his floor is P.J. Walker and his ceiling is higher. So
Yes. No, I agree. I'm 100% exactly in agreement with what you're saying there. DTR given a fair shake. I mean, there's a reason why they went to DTR, you know, and previously had been going to PJ Walker, but now with the clearly this is for the rest of the season. They'd like to get him some of that seasoning now because they realize, you know, that, you know, and don't look for it to be perfect right out the gate either. I mean, yes, he's had more time to practice. He's going to have the chance to prepare as a long field goal missed there, but. You know, he's not necessarily going to be, you know, perfect right out the gate. You know, he is still a rookie. The difference between, you know, putting DTR out there as a rookie after 90 minutes, you know, of advance notice or whatever it was, and very little notice, versus a guy, you know, because they always talk about you want your quarterbacks to be ready at a moment's notice, show up, ready to play. The vet guys that have been in the systems for a long time, it's a lot more realistic to expect something like that out of one of those guys because they've ran the system for a while. They've been around the NFL for a while. They prepare at the NFL level, you know, have been doing that for a while. You know, all of those things. And even then, it doesn't always work out as you'd like because they're, you know, they're a backup and so on. But in this case, you know, there's a reason why the Browns are ready to pull that trigger as a wide open Mark Andrews also in the zone, as the Ravens come right back out firing out of the halftime. But there's a reason why they're ready to go to DTR here, partially probably because of his progression, but, you know, because they're not going to do that if they really think he's not at all ready. But they're also, part of the calculus is going to be the fact that they're looking to try to get him, you know, some real game time live reps, more of them to build that experience and hopefully have something with as good as this team is, because guess what? This team is still very much all in.
Well, we do have like the 29th easiest remaining schedule or something like that as well. Yep. So it's a commitment. It's a, you know, you might take a couple of short-term lumps, but in the long term, maybe he still can get you into the playoffs, and then anything's possible.
Yep.
See Browns at Steelers a couple years ago. And arguably one Hollywood Higgins helmet hit to the head by Dirty Dan away from being in the AFC Championship that year.
That's true. Absolutely.
(13-20). Ravens with the football to start here the second half again. Listening to Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy on sports. Lamar Jackson 14-25 now for 229. That was Gus Edwards out of the backfield, not the role we're used to seeing him in out there. Here Comes Gus, hope go to the right side, a little hesitation, and then thrown down by Miles Murphy, the rookie defensive lineman out of Clemson. You should see Miles a little bit tonight with the injury to Sam Hubbard. Also see Joseph Osai and Cam Sample. Lamar with his first down at the 21-yard line. Long fake of the throw, or a handoff. Oh, he had Andrews again, who would have had his second touchdown, actually third touchdown, I guess, in a row. Oh, I guess Beckham had the first one. Second touchdown in a row. Flick it right, sir, over the middle, rather, and he does get it. Andrews squeezes the biscuit down at the 4-yard line. He's got 5 catches for 100 yards here in about a quarter and 3 minutes of football. Blitz coming up the middle. Ravens take care of it. Right side, knocked out of his hands. It was Flowers, and he's hit in the back by Awuzie, incomplete, keeping him out of the end zone for now. I mean, Don, I'm sure at some point in the history of the league it's been that, but a recent memory, I can't think of a time where all 4 teams, I mean, before, I don't know if it's still the same, but before the beginning of last week, all 4 would have been in the playoffs.
No, I think to go back to all 4 teams being this good in a single division that the Browns were in, you'd probably have to look back to the AFC Central and some of those years where the Bengals, the Oilers, the Steelers, and the Browns were all really quite good. Right around that same time that the Browns were in those back-to-back AFC Championship, those other 3 teams were also excellent in that period too.
Yeah, Bernie Kosar, Boomer Esiason, Warren Moon.
Yep.
Those matchups for sure. Burrow now rolling to the left. He's going to try to keep it to the 20, to the 25, and it'll be technically sacked. Marcus Williams in there. 4th sack of Burrow so far for Baltimore, who now trails by 2 touchdowns. They got to get something going here to start the second half. And obviously, they just added the 7th playoff team, not a couple years ago, a few years ago in the grand scheme of the league, right? Maybe 8 years ago or something. So, certainly hasn't been since then where a team's gotten all 4 in. Which would obviously be the only way to get all 4 of your teams in is to take 7 teams.
Right.
3rd and 10. Burrow firing it. Caught it! Chase has bailed him out so many times here in this game. He does so again with a big first down strike to midfield. Burrow steps up in the pocket. Roquan Smith, you can see they're kind of stepped up. They had to respect the run. Now that that calf is fully back, his mobility certainly has increased.
Yep.
Yeah, 7th catch of the afternoon.
I was going to say, climbing the pocket there, critical for Burrow. Really nicely done, and then keeping his eyes downfield to find Chase.
Blitz coming, untouched. He'll be met in the back. Queen and Clowney playing a game of meet you at Burrow, and he'll get a big 9-yard sack on first down there. Burrow had no chance. Burrow fires a dart over the middle to Boyd, and they get a long completion after the sack. Much like you just talked about, setting up a 3rd and 2.
Yep. Those plays are so critical. The 3rd and 2 opens up your entire playbook. You can take a shot here and go for it on 4th. You can do exactly that, the little stick route like they just did. You can hand it off and run the ball. You can take a little pitch sweep, a little trickeration. I mean, the playbook is wide open in those moments, but what you can't do is do that on 3rd and 17.
Little slant again to the left side. Irwin. Thanks for asking, Bo. The surgery was successful. Sitting here in my newly moved simming office area, which used to be in the basement, is now upstairs, which is why every time somebody drives by the house, the dogs are losing their mind. They're right by the front door now, which happens. But Got a recliner, got the leg popped up. It's on some ice right now, and just enjoying some sim time. And I am, yes, apparently I am literally the bionic man with my lengthening nail in my femur that I grow myself every day with. So I stretch it almost a millimeter a day to make my femur longer. 6th sack now for the Ravens defense, starting to mount up for this Bengals offensive line, which they continue to invest tons of resources in. And so far, Burrow keeps getting hit. 8th catch for Boyd. He's over 100 for the afternoon.
He had surgery that needed to catch up to his injury.
The short version. Yes, exactly.
The technology.
The short version is in 1995. Yeah, I would say the short version is in 1995. I broke my leg playing indoor soccer. When my leg healed, the growth plate closed off, so my left leg kept growing and my right leg didn't, thus rendering my legs about 4 centimeters in difference, about 2 inches in difference, which is not insignificant, but also not like, completely life debilitating. So they didn't really want to mess with it when I was 14. Fast forward to it being about 25 years old, really bad lower back and hip pain because my hips were just super crooked from having different leg lengths. Fast forward another 15 years, and now the technology exists for them to go in and completely all inside my leg. Supposed to be pain-free once it gets to, once I heal from the initial surgery pain. But basically, they broke my femur, inserted a rod, and I use a little electromagnetic device to grow the rod or stretch the rod, kind of like a curtain rod, in my femur, and then my new bone grows in, and when it's all said and done, my right leg will be as long as my left leg again, and I should have no more hip and back pain for the rest of my life. In theory. Lamar in the zone. Dump it short. Suplex tackle by Jermaine Pratt. 3rd and 3 now. 27-16 as the Bengals were able to muster a field goal on that last drive. Again, Lamar in the zone, such a weapon for any team, especially if the Ravens ever figure out and just run the football with him. And this time he's going to be sacked by Hendrickson, and a big stop there. Trey Hendrickson shows up at big moments for his team, and he gets a big sack there to force a punt. Beating the right tackle, Morgan Moses, former Washington Commander, amongst other teams. And second-year punter Jordan Stout, Penn State Nittany Lion grad, punts it away, and Irwin calls for the fair catch, 28-yard line. All right, down 11 now. Joey B. and company onto the football field. They trail by 11, 4:41 on this third quarter clock. Again, you're listening to Phil Nagy and Kit Nagy. Nagy on Sports, only place on YouTube you can find simulated football games with live original commentary, and sometimes even things other than football games with live original commentary. Again, primarily Browns focused because both of us are gigantic Browns fans, but we have fans of pretty much every other team at this point on the channel, which is really cool. So
yeah,
if you haven't had a chance to subscribe, we'd appreciate it. Also, if you want to like the video, YouTube likes that as well. Fourth and 8. They're not going to be able to get off the field there. Another sack as they just continue to beat him up. That's Oweh. Another Penn State Nittany Lion. I believe it was one time he was committed to Ohio State, actually. Oweh was, and then ended up at Penn State. He was fine at Penn State, but he was never, I don't think he ever fully realized his potential. In some ways, kind of like Micah Parsons, who was good in college, but has been incredible in the league. Mark Andrews on the other end, 6 catches now, 109 yards for the big tight end. Shotgun snap, Jackson into traffic, knocked away. Pratt had the hand in there. Dangerous throw from Lamar, up 11. I'd like to see them work that ground game on a 2nd and 1.
Yeah, there was A lot of defenders in the area, a bit dangerous of a throw. Kind of an interesting choice. That'd have been 6.
Drops another one. The Bengals. That's at least 3 pick sixes that the Bengals have dropped in this game.
That is, and that's really killing them right now
Partially
because
as a result, why they trail by 11.
Yeah, I was going to say that's really killing them right now because the scoreline should be very different if they just get 2, maybe 3 of those, and all of a sudden this looks like a very different game.
Yeah, even if they aren't returned for touchdowns, just shortening the field and giving extra possessions.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, we saw it from the Ravens.
It's a big deal.
Going into half, what a difference that made for them, and they're still enjoying that.
Quick throw again, Irwin, and it's going to be knocked out. Kind of a late knockout. I'm surprised the Ravens didn't try to jump onto that football.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought it was a pick, or a fumble for a moment.
27-16, setting up screen left side. It's Mixon. Can he get past Queen? And not really, but Queen sort of throws him forward. That's up a 3rd and 4 now for Burrow and the Bengals.
Yeah, credit Queen with kind of threading his way through the blockers. The blockers need to have their head on a swivel there. They kind of let him down there. Really an opportunity for Mixon to get some yardage, but Queen had a free shot at him because the blockers really didn't look for the linebacker coming across their face. And as a result, which you really should have, because that's kind of what they're there for, but instead, Queen able to thread through the traffic and able to get to Mixon before he could do any damage.
Second and 6 now with about a minute to go here in this 3rd quarter. Quick throw left side. Burrow caught it right away by Irwin, and not sure he's going to gain much. Already 50 pass attempts in 3 quarters for Burrow. They got to run the football.
That is crazy, Mason.
I've only seen Ronnie Stanley, Bo. Yeah, that is crazy. I don't care how good they taste. I'll never pay $200 for 7 tacos.
No way. No way.
Yes, seconds, exactly. 2 seconds. Do they want to get the snap off? They do not.
That's like a just on those tacos. That's a solid like $50 tip.
All right, 4th quarter. Let's start with a handoff, a rare handoff. I've not seen very many of them so far here today. Just the one takeaway for this Ravens defense. Their season rank again on our force wins and losses. Simulated statistics has them ranked number 10. Back to pass, Burrow firing it quickly to Mixon out of the backfield on his 52nd pass attempt. He achieves the 300-yard mark on the day here for Joe Burrow.
I mean, at that price, I hope they're making them out of something that, extends your lifespan or something. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. Pure gold or truffles or something.
I mean, I don't know that I care what the food is. It better be better than just food. That's crazy amount of money for 7 tacos.
Each taco comes with a scratch-off ticket that could be worth $100,000.
Exactly. There you go.
Would that make it worth it?
Yeah. I don't know. Probably not for me, but maybe for some at that point.
That's fair, yeah. Too rich for my blood, for sure. Chase again. They have thrown that quick slant to him many times today.
Well, and he's been so big in their game plan. He's been so important.
2nd and 1. He has Burrow now in trouble again. That's sack number 8, I think, and it's Clowney's 2nd of the day. And the Ravens just absolutely abusing the Bengals offensive line right now. Clowney getting home. changing up the play here. 3rd and 14. Cannot turn the football over. Blitz again, and Queen will get home. His 2nd sack. And that will force the field goal attempt. 9th sack in a basically 3/4 of football here so far. And that with your dropped interceptions is a recipe for defeat.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So 27-19 here, 11 minutes on the game clock. This is our 2nd game of the week, as voted on by you, the faithful fans. Again, if you would like to vote on which games that Kit and I sim to you each week, in addition to the Browns games, you can do that on our Discord channel, which is free and easy to use. The invite link is live and open in the description of this or any of our other videos. And again, you can find out in advance of when we sim, vote on the games of the week, and assuming that we can behave ourselves, to have some Browns game chat as well. Aguilar a little hurt getting up. Oh yeah, I couldn't figure out what Sithoso meant either, or whatever. So I thank you both for rephrasing.
Right.
I was like, well, that's outside of my range of knowledge. Here's another 1st down throw to Mark Andrews. He's been as clutch for Lamar as Chase has been for Burrow today.
That would be pretty wild, though. Like a menu
it's like an old school iPod.
Yeah, a menu that came with like an actual like celebrity of some sort describing the meal to you, as like you pay for the celebrity to be there long enough to describe what you're about to eat. You know, maybe then I'd pay $200 for some tacos.
Take a selfie. Yeah, take a selfie, something like that.
Meanwhile, McConaughey's there, like, let me tell you about these tacos. You're just like, okay.
That's right. They're $200 because 180 of it goes to him.
That's right. No, I can't pretend to impersonate McConaughey. That is not a voice in my wheelhouse.
Trips to the right side, 8:40 and counting. Lamar and the Ravens just dinking and dunking down the field now. Credit them, they were down 10-0, and they really stormed back. The end of that first half swing with those 2 quick touchdowns really kind of swung this game, and they've been able to continue to maintain and keep momentum, which is such a hard thing to come back against, which is why the fact that the Browns did it not once but twice down by 14 pretty remarkable.
Well, it is remarkable, and especially if you look at now, I know the Browns have not been great over this period, but still, the stat line going into that game, while down by 14 or more points, the Browns were 0-59-1 going into that game, down by 14 points to any AFC North rival in the 4th quarter. That was their previous stat line going into that game.
That's right. But 1-0 last weekend.
That's right.
We're trying to go 1-0 this weekend. We'll bring you that sim either tomorrow or Saturday in preparation for the big game. I formation, they'll play action out of it again. A lot of throwing. This one's Patrick Ricard, a little fullback love to warm Kit's heart. And the first down into the red zone. Kit, you'll be happy to know that when I redid the season after the trade deadline and
another pick
forced
missed.
wins the first 8 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
Another pick missed. That the because of the way that the roster filling thing works, it gave every single team a fullback. So it's like, who are these guys? This guy's not on this team, and it was like, nope, every team's got to have a fullback.
That's funny. Gotta have a fullback. I mean, I agree. Frankly, I posted my posted that video from Jason Kelsey talking about how important a fullback is to a locker room. I was like, that that right there. That's what it's about. And it is. I mean, I think I always thought so too. The fullback was kind of the locker room guy. The Eagles? No, I don't think they do. Not a full-time
Yeah, I
one,
was going to
anyway.
say, I don't think the Eagles have one.
No, not a full-up fullback.
You could say that, like, Nick Harris is our fullback.
Oh,
He's got a
effectively.
bunch of reps there.
He's effectively our fullback, even though he's not traditionally a fullback. And there's a lot of that around the league where they'll put somebody kind of to play that role when they need it. That's kind of how it's gone with the modern era of the NFL. Yeah, some teams still do have, no kidding. I mean, Juszczyk is one, Ham is another. They got a few. There are a few out there that are true fullbacks on teams, and for good reason. So it's not quite like the days back in the All-Stott days.
Oh, yeah.
That dude was a stud.
He was. The Bengals will finally get a stop, but the problem is they let the Ravens get all the way down to the 13-yard line, and they took about 6 minutes off the clock on that drive.
That's right.
Just no urgency from the defense. Lamar was not in any hurry. Dink and dunk, quick runs here. They're not going to give us the drive summary, but I bet that thing started with about 9 or 10 minutes left in this quarter, and so now it's probably over here at an 11-point lead, but they got to score, and they got to score fast. Burrow from his own 20-yard line. Quick throw right side, picked! Marlon Humphrey. And that might be the ball game, friends, as Burrow under duress all day. Second pick, and the Ravens defense make them pay.
Yeah, that one felt like the gut punch. That one probably puts them down for the count. Unfortunately, not a terrible throw, just did not account for Humphreys on the inside of the route. Probably needed to throw it outside shoulder. And Humphreys makes a great play on it. And so here we are with Lamar and company back out on the field. Good position, and another touchdown certainly does seal it with 4:19 left.
Yes, Bo, traditionally speaking, it would mean that the Bengals will win tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
One of our Kansas City fans was asking about that last night. He was like, "Isn't usually what happens if they lose in the sim, they win in real life?" And I was like, "I don't have a bunch of hard data, but certainly anecdotally it feels that way." I mean, the Browns lost to the Cardinals, for Pete's sake, in the sim, and then went out and shut them out.
That's right.
The Browns lost to the Ravens last week in the sim, and then won.
Right.
So
that's right. Does seem to happen a lot that way.
Anecdotally, we'll say that it is possible.
Oh man. OBJ dagger
there with Beckham into the end zone.
Absolute dagger there to OBJ. Why not? I mean, he's been very good in this game too. That earlier dagger just outside of the reach of Awuzie, and then this one here, and just all by himself, creating all kinds of separation, and that's just gonna do it right there.
Yep, indeedy. 37-21 now, 3:06 on the game clock. But again, I think you really got to credit Baltimore's defense in this one. They came up with a couple of clutch turnovers, and they have just harassed Joe all day. And on the other side of it, the Bengals have dropped legitimately 4 interceptions.
Oh, yeah.
At least 2, probably 3 of them would have been pick sixes.
Yep. And had chances probably at another 3 or 4 that would have taken a more impressive plays to make, but certainly were makeable plays. But the ones that you're talking about, the legitimate drops, I mean, those 4, those were like in and out of the hands, like hit 'em stone hand style, and probably 3 of those should have been pick sixes. Not the Ravens, though. They're not dropping their pick opportunities.
Yeah, the Ravens are not dropping the interceptions. Now with 2:35, third turnover of the game, and the Ravens can just kneel this one out if they choose after this 2-minute warning here. Edwards will try the right side for a couple of yards. Did you see, because there was that quick slant where he beat Mike Beckham for the touchdown and did like the peace sign? There's some pretty quick memes to come out, and it was like, how many points did you lose by, Beckham? And then showed his peace sign in the meme. It was pretty funny. Pretty well done.
That is funny.
I mean, Mike Ford is like our 5th best cover corner, 6th best cover corner, so dude was doing his best in there.
Yeah,
I'm surprised we didn't see AJ Green.
To
frankly.
his
Maybe
credit,
they just thought that he wasn't ready.
I was gonna, yeah, well, yeah, probably. But to his credit, that interception that he had, well underthrown, but he had to have the ball awareness to see where it was going. Nice play there from Ford, able to get his head around enough, see where the ball was tracking, realizing it was well short, and turning around to make that nice pick, near the end of the first half. As that was a big momentum swing, because that takes, a pretty sure Justin Tucker kick at least off the board, which is a big deal in a game like that. As you saw, it came down to, within 3 points, so it really didn't matter.
Yep. Well, he's also the one who very legally popped Lamar on the sideline right before he went out of bounds. Which
sure did.
That was very much a tone setter.
Yeah, that was a great hit.
And really got the defense fired up.
Sure did.
Well, 30 seconds left in this one. 40-19. This one's going to end not close.
Yeah.
3-touchdown lead for the Baltimore Ravens.
Bo, I don't know how you were in your seat at all. I did not sit that entire game. Not even kidding. I was standing the entire way. I was talking to Phil about it after the fact. He was like, "Yeah, if I wasn't stuck on the couch, I probably would have been too." But to be fair, luckily,
on the couch because of my leg. Yes.
Yeah. Fortunately, you did not get up because that would have been bad. But yeah, no, I can attest to the fact that I did not sit for that entire game. I spent a lot of time standing and pacing, and it certainly got the whole put me back in it, like in the emotions of the game and the edge of your seat of your pants feel. It was like it's crazy in the moment, and I was right in it, back in it again. But it was pretty cool. It was a great game, one for the ages.
Indeed. Bengals maybe a little out of balance in this one. 63 passes, 7 runs in this game. And now another sack. Why did the Bengals call timeout? So they could punt.
Don't know.
What?
Only Madden, sir.
They're trying to pad Bradley Robbins' stats for the Pro Bowl or something. Mercifully, this one's over. Bengals are up 10-0. So how about getting outscored 40-9 for the remainder of the game? That's exactly what John Harbaugh's boys do here. And a big win for them. Kid, go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah, it started well for the Bengals, but really opportunities missed was the name of this game. All of those interceptions bouncing off the stone hands, not so for the Ravens, as they were made the best of their opportunities with the ball in their hands for the defense, coming up with some critical interceptions of their own, which turned into points for their offense. And that's the scoreline, as Phil said, a 40-9 run. The difference in this game, as you can see that scoreline just absolutely take off for the Ravens as compared to the Bengals.
Burrow today, 39 of 63, 372, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Mixon just 7 carries, 21 yards. Boyd 10 for $137. Chase for 9 for 97. He had the 1 touchdown. Trenton Irwin, again, we talked about him, 7 for 44, 6 for $12 for Hamilton, 10 for Stevens, 3.5 for Owe, 2.5 for Queen, 2 for Clowney, 1 for Pierce, and a half for Matabike and Marcus Williams. 2 picks for Humphrey, 1 for Owe as well. Solid game for Owe, multi-sack and an interception. Guys, really appreciate you being on with us. This one was a lot of fun. Again, stay tuned to that Discord channel. We'll let you know when we're going to do the Browns game, or you can always hit the bell here and find out when we've gone live, at least on YouTube. But usually try to bring you that one sometime tomorrow or Saturday, just schedule depending. So really appreciate you guys being on with us, and tell your friends. Today we will say, go Ravens, and as always, go Browns!